let's modify our application a little bit. Let's actually have it make an API call. So what we're going to do here is we'll render an app. And it's important to note that this JavaScript that you're writing it, it's going to be, this JavaScript is going to end up running on the browser as opposed to your node files, which are running on the server. Or we only have two files. We just got server and our index.html file. Eventually, we'll be able to put our client-side code in separate files as well. For the moment, we're stuck in here because we're using this inline Babel. And I'm just going to extends React component. And what I'm going to do here is that when I go to render this, just for the moment, let's just get this set up. So this is going to end up just returning. And what we're going to do here, we've done this a few times before. This is going to be an unordered list. And let's just say that we're going to have a list of users here. So let's be optimistic. Or actually, let's just go over here and let's put a constructor here. We'll go over here and say, type in, first we have to call super. And we'll specify that this dot state equals, always has to be an object. And this is going to be users as an empty array. And we'll do a quick mapping over users. And we'll specify users.map. We've got a user. We'll have a list item. We know it's going to bark at us that it needs a key. We'll assume we'll have an ID here, and we'll display the user.name. Close up the LI. Close up the map. Let's go take a look and just see what this ends up rendering. And let's take a look here. Users is not defined. That's true because we're getting them from our state. I always like to destructure this. Get these from our state. And we shouldn't see anything, but we shouldn't see any errors. If we went to look at our app a little bit, we'd see that we have a UL, but it doesn't have anything in it. So what we want to do here is we want to make an Axios call. And first of all, let me just grab the CDN from Axios. And here's Axios, and we'll grab it. Put it up here. Script, source, Axios, closing script tag. When our component ends up mounting, we'll make this async. Component did mount. And what we'll do here is we're just going to, really this could be no more than a one-liner, to say this set state, and I want to set users. And this is going to be an Axios dot get. I'm going to have to wait on it. Axios dot get. And this is going to be, let's assume that I have an API users in my application, right? This is going to be our own API. Again, with Axios, we end up getting back data. And again, if this is successful, we'll be able to set our state. Now, it's not going to be successful because when we go to run this and we look at our console, we'll see that this path does not exist, right? One of the things Express does says, hey, look, I couldn't find this. I'm going to send back a 404. So at a bare minimum, what we could do, this is how easy it is to set up other routes within Express, is on our server, we're going to specify that we're going to do a get, and this is going to be for API users. Again, request, response next. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to create an array of two users. This is going to be, we'll have one user with the name of Mo. Eventually we'll put this in a file. We'll have another user with the name of Larry. And one of the things that Express will do is that we could just go here and say response.send. With HTTP, everything had to be a string. Express says, I have no problem sending these users. If it's an object, I'm just going to send it back in JSON format. And if we end up doing this and I refresh, we'll end up having that route and we'll have our two users. So that's really how easy it is to make an XHR request, which is what we're doing for users, and we end up getting back these users.